Yo, 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 how's it going? This is your boy, Happy Guy. What's up? So, today we'll be doing a quick tutorial on cart creation. Okay, so things you're gonna need for this tutorial is the cart tool from the GitHub, and you're gonna need Unity. Also Blender. You're gonna need those three. Okay, hopefully the audio doesn't get butchered by the recordings over here, but yeah. So, I got my cart over here. It's a .fbx file. It can be .object. It can be in a bunch of formats, so don't worry about it. And I got the textures in the same spot, so it's much easier for the Blender file to recognize. You can get this Blender file from the GitHub of the game. Currently, it's this version, and make sure it's this version from the time of this recording. There could be much better and improved versions later on, but for now, try to stick to 1.051 beta fix 1. This is currently the newest one. So hold on, let me just stop the recording real quick to get better shot. Okay, so we're inside of the Blender file, and I totally did not like do 50-minute takes before this, like over and over. So let's hope this is the one where I don't keep like saying stuff wrongly. So let's go. On the right, you can see example character and example card. These are example models for references, so that whenever you want to reference something here to the how it looks in game, this is like the default card's proportions and looks. So you can go ahead and disable the card and disable the example character so that you can have a much more clear view. You can see the wheels here. You can see this is essentially where the flames for the cart comes out. So whenever you boost, whenever like there's smoke coming out of the cart, essentially this is here is the exhaust pipes. So keep that in mind whenever like your cart has exhaust pipes and stuff like that. Currently, your cart needs exhaust pipes, but uh, we'll go over some stuff. Don't you worry. So let's go ahead and load in our carts. I'm not a Blender modeler or anything. I just learned Blender and Unity for this game, so please don't judge harshly. So yeah, essentially this is card that I made, and I made it with the whole Karters card proportion in mind. It is a little bit off position here, but as you can see, it's a bunch of cubes and cylinders. So let me just select them all, right click it, and join. So that's just one mesh to speed up the whole process. Sometimes you want them to be separate, so you don't have to always do exactly like me. So let's go ahead and lower it just a bit so that's positioned more nicely. And that's actually one of the things I want to mention real quick. Let me hide the card part. So essentially, you see this box over here. Let me go into pose mode. Yeah, you don't want to mess around too much with pose mode. This is more advanced stuff. But yeah, so this here is the seat of the cart, and this here is the wheel of the cart. These are the two most important things, in my opinion. So you gotta focus on where your character is sitting and how they are holding the cart itself. So let's go ahead real quick and reveal our cube cart again over here. It's a wood cart, but whatever. So as you can see, the I had like the seating positioned nicely, and the wheels also positioned decently enough as well. And if you don't have like a good wheels over here, like it's far away or on the back and stuff like that, like the steering wheel that is, go ahead, go to wireframe mode, click tab to go into edit mode over here. Now go ahead and pick the select option, and you could select this. And after selecting it, you should get a gizmo that like, oh my goodness, why is it not? Okay, it's because I'm stupid. It's over here, the move option. Okay, so yeah, you could go ahead and move like the steering wheels around. So if it if you ever like import a cart and it looks out of position, stuff like that, the steering wheel stuff like that, just make sure to go ahead and position it in any way, the shape, angle, so it looks all over the place because it's like a bunch of cubes. But don't you worry about it. And yeah, yeah, essentially you always want to get like the steering wheels looking nicely. If the cart itself doesn't look the right size, you could always like change its size from here, like from these smaller cubes, and you could just equally readjust it so that it changes shape like this. Or you could do like some people, just press S and you could just rescale it like this. And Control Z undoes everything. It's gonna be your best friend. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into actually modding in a card. So it's quite simple. All we gotta do is click on edit rig, and it's gonna give you it's gonna highlight essentially all of the skeleton of the card, that is. So currently we want to move the wheels around, and we put them in the correct spots so that it fits nicely. So let's go ahead, move this forward. And if you want the other side to duplicate it, there's an option here that's like an X mill. I don't know what it was called, honestly. X axis. There you go. Matching X axis. So now if you move this, the equaling other side, the equaling other side, I don't know these terms. Essentially, the other side is going to duplicate whatever's happening on this side. So you want to like move these around, get it close, try to put it in the right spots that seem about right. Yeah, that looks. Hold on. You could move around the camera by using the middle mouse button or using the hand over here. I tend to use them both frequently, along with the zoom in option. Yeah, it looks just a little bit off to the right here, so let's just move it a little bit back. Again, I'm not really good with the Blender, but this is a tutorial you're getting from watching a dummy, so don't expect like big brain moments over here. So let's go ahead and like position the back wheels here as well. And you essentially over here, I'm supposed to have like exhaust pipes over here as well. Hold on, let me just duplicate this side as well. I'm supposed to have exhaust pipes here, but I think this is an older version because whenever I go ahead and check my other model over here, you can clearly see that I do have exhaust pipes that I installed in the back for it, but sadly this one doesn't have it. So let's just pretend it's here. Let's just pretend it's here, and I just put it in. I just put it in the middle of it and just positioned it nicely. There we go. That's the imaginary exhaust pipes. And let's just go ahead, click on generate, and essentially you reposition the skeleton. Now we want to wrap things around the skeleton, so you click on the mesh and you click on auto skin, and you're basically done. You could just export animation and the cards will be exported there. There are some few steps you could go with. I'm not sure if it's gonna work really well because I'm kind of jinxing myself currently, but you could go ahead with stuff like manually skinning, and you go ahead and let's go something like these steering wheels over here. You could go ahead and click on add with the brush over here. You could change how big your brush is and or how small it is, and in here you could adjust what's what. So you could pick what's the body, what's the driving wheel, the seat, the engine, the back platform for whenever the back parts of the cart like changes and flips into animations. But that's a little bit too advanced right now. So for now, let's just go with something like driving wheels. Let's just go ahead and add a little bit of colors to it. My only problem here is that the shapes that I used when making the sculpt is pretty simple, so it's not gonna transition too nicely to the shapes over here. But yeah, potato potato. So let's keep going. Come on, there we go. Just It should be like smoother, but it's because the shape is insanely simple. It's literally just a cube, so I gotta find the edges of the cubes. And essentially, just whenever you color something red, it essentially gives it more power. The more red it is, the more power the skeleton has over a certain thing. It's gonna become more clear in the next tutorial. I think my next tutorial is gonna be a character tutorial, and I'm gonna work on it instantly after this one. I think I'm slowly gathering more confidence to do tutorials. Granted, they're shit, but they're good shit. They're good shit. So I would skip ahead if I were you, but actually, no. Stick around. So I think I make fun conversations for the most part between quotation marks. Come on, just let's go, let's go. We ain't got all the time of the day. Actually, if you're watching a tutorial, I mean, maybe you do. You don't want to read the documentary, which documentary. What do they call it? Documentation? Something like that. But let's just say got the parts right. Okay, so let's just say that. Let's pretend. Let's pretend I did it. The, the cheer and applause for me. I'd open up my other projects and they are like separate cubes, and I just went through them real quick. But let's just say I did it. I colored them all, and I applied that they are driving wheels. Okay, actually, it kind of colored it up real nicely there. Ah, never mind. I'm a genius. Anyhow, let's exit the skin mode and to see how well it looks. Hold on, this whole recording thing on the top is blocking my view. But there should be like an animation tab here. It's hard to see it with like the Windows recording thing in the middle of the tab. Okay, hold on. Let me just lower this maybe. Okay, I can't. Let me pause then the recording real quick. Okay, okay, we're back. I'm here. Don't you worry. I'm here. I'm not gone. I went through a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we reached the animation tab, I think. I just active the new one. Yeah, it's gonna look different. Oh, wait, I can access it. Never mind. Okay, so, okay, so it's because there's like a little. If you can, I don't think you can see it, but there's like a little box over here, like where the shape of the mouse is going. So it's blocking my view. So don't you worry about it. Think of it as a comedic tutorial. Okay, so go ahead and select the skeleton of the cart and go ahead and select any animation you want to see. So let's go ahead and let's go with turning left. And as you can see, if we get just a little bit close there, yeah, the wheels actually turn with the cart. So turning left is gonna actually turn the cart like that. So there we go. We're going through it really nicely. And you could go with more advanced stuff, such as making this part like transforms when the wheels flip around and stuff like that. And there's a lot more advanced stuff here, but we're gonna go with the very basics. So you can go ahead and click on export animations and export it as is, just export animation. And what that's gonna do, I think if I close this, I'm gonna you could save it, but I already like have a bunch of copies of this card, so I don't think I'm gonna be revisiting this. So there we go. On the side here, you can see that it has made a new folder, which I'm gonna copy the textures here, not the model, just the textures. Then I'm gonna go here and drop it here. And this actually can it says cart animations, but it contains the cart and the animation. So let me just pause the recording again real quick, and I'll meet you in Unity. Actually, real quick, just because I'm an idiot, I forgot to mention this is a good time to use the example models so that you could like use the example character to reference how the characters would look sitting down or gripping the wheels. So whenever you want to change anything or like you want to double check like proportions of the cart and stuff like that, this is essentially the time to check the steering wheel and the characters looks on the cart themselves. So Yeah, turn it on whenever you want to make sure how they're gonna hold the steering wheel and all of the other stuff. Okay, back to the Unity part. My bad, my bad. You missed out on a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, but don't you worry, it's a highlight. But yeah, real quickly, if you want to reach this scene in Unity, I think if you're like following through most of the documentation, you should probably be able to set up Unity and Blender and the other stuff. I think they are pretty self-explanatory. But whenever you open up the Unity projects, you could just go here in the Pixel tools and open Scene Workshop Content Gen. In here, essentially, where you're gonna start making most of the stuff. So what comes with the game is three folders: the workshop content module, and workshop content project. So the two you want to focus on is workshop content, where you're gonna have your characters, stickers, tracks, vehicles, wheels, and all of the good stuff if they add in the future, like maybe scripts, maybe some UI mods, some stuff. I'm not putting ideas in your head. Anywho, and in here in the workshop module, essentially you want to borrow stuff from here, but never put stuff in here. Okay, just gotta add that to the back of your head. So let's go to workshop content, and let me just be careful to not spoil anything. Otherwise, this whole place and this whole party is gonna get sensitive. I don't want to spoil stuff I'm working on. So let's open up vehicles. And in vehicles, and even when you go to characters and stuff like that, it's always going to be like a first option, which is underscore control D new vehicle. So you want to follow through this. Whenever you see a control D, it's essentially the developer telling you, hey, just press control, press D. It's going to make a copy of the folder, which is this folder. You want to always make copies of these. And let's rename this to wood cart. Now let's just go ahead and go to 3D models, and let's right click it and show in Explorer. And it's gonna show you the 3D models, color variation, gameplay prefab. Let's reopen the 3D models part, and let me just copy over the tutorial stuff that we had before. So let me pause real quick. Okay, so these are the parts that we talked about before. So let me just copy them. Control C. Let me pause real quick. And there we go. We're back here on the 3D models. Let me just Control V. And I copied essentially what we had, like the cult animation and all of these other textures that I had. I used royalty free textures, so don't you worry. Anyway, let's close that one down. Unity is gonna detect like some changes in the folder, and it's gonna essentially work its way through it. So give it some time. Okay, now it's done. So we got our cart over here, the 3D models, and the textures right over here. Okay, so what you want to do right now is scroll down, workshop module, scroll down again. I have like a bunch of stuff open over here. It should be like closed up like this. So you want in here in prefab, go to vehicle core, and then drag this and drop it under content, not inside of it, but under it. It's gonna be like on this level of playing field. So you don't want it to be like this. You want it to be outside. Oh, my head. Okay, so apparently, as I was like done with the tutorial and I was quite happy, it didn't record a bunch of the tutorial. So I'm gonna redo some steps real quick and essentially speedrun this. So okay, not speedrun this. I'm still gonna explain a lot. I don't want it to be like a lesser quality because I like messed up. Actually, it wasn't me that messed up. It was the Windows. Okay, so yeah, that's right. I'm blaming Windows. It's all on you, Bill Gates. Okay, so over here with the vehicle core, you want to copy over your model and just place it inside of it. This is the one time you want to place something inside of something. Actually, no, that's a lie. There's the suspensions. We'll get to it. Okay, so click on the vehicle core, and over here on the side you have some options. So if you have like a full car that doesn't show characters inside and stuff like that, like an actual vehicle. Okay, now that sounded insulting to the carts. Okay, so essentially a vehicle that's like fully covered. You can't see the people inside. You may want to click hide characters in vehicles so that the characters don't appear. Luckily, you can still hear them, so that's a bonus. There's also an option to hide the wheels. So in case you have like a flying vehicle or something close to it, then you might want to toggle this on. And over here, we're gonna go through these steps, but let's just do this real quick. Initiate model, and it should automatically line up the wheels where we lined it up in the Blender file. So let's go back up here, and over here we essentially have the first option, which is the boost tilt angle. So whenever you use a boost pads and like landing boost and all kinds of boosts, essentially how hard the vehicle tilts backwards. And over here it's how hard it tilts from the drifts, like how hard it leans and stuff like that. So whenever you want your cart to like insanely tilt over into a cartoonish like degree, which fits the Karters style, yeah, you may want to increase these just a bit more, or maybe if you want the vehicle to be more calm down and down to earth, you want to lower these. Over here we have like four wheel size options, so forward left, forward right, backwards. So you could change the wheel size as much as you want. And below them is the max hang distance. So essentially whenever you make a jump or like your character is off the ground, the wheels are gonna like move downwards. Yeah, as in like it's being pulled downwards by gravity. So you could pick how far it stretches downwards. I think I'm gonna have an example over here that shows how absurd it can get. Hopefully, I like hear myself mention this, but yeah, how low like the wheels can get. You could have it like stiff, incredibly like stuck. Like I have mine incredibly stuck to the wheels itself. But let's have it the default for now, because I'll teach you how to add suspensions. So yeah, if it says none, just make sure initiate model and it's gonna use the animations of it. It's probably because I pressed Control Z, it undid the initiate model. So it's currently initiated. Now we want to add. You could like just be done over here, but let's add suspensions real quick. Trust me, it's okay, not two steps. It's like a few steps, but it's quite quick, and you're gonna be so relieved when you do it. So go to Workshop module, go to Prefab, and go to Suspension types. Actually, hold on, because we want something here. So let me get rid of this wood. I'll be right back. I'll grab my other model. Okay, okay, I'm back. I'm back. I grabbed my other wood cart model and removed the wood from it because it's not combined. So let's go ahead and go to suspension types. And over here, the developers gave three pre-made suspension types. Hopefully, we'll get more in the future, and you could make your own if you want. So that's a bonus. So let's go over here. Click on the suspension setup parent, and there is for both of the forward wheels and both of the back wheels. So you want to just copy this over each of them, or not overlap, but into them. So just copy into them, and let's grab both of the forward ones. I'm holding control and then click on the other one, so I'm selecting only these two. Don't select the parents, okay? Just the sample ones. Yeah, let's just call it samples. Let me forget my English real quick and just relax. So let's go up just a little bit here so that it seems like closer to lining up. And let me pick one side and just make it lean into this so that it's a little bit inside of the wood here. It's like a part of it. Let's copy the x-axis over here, the position of it. Let's select this other one and let's paste the value there. They both seem just a little bit down, so let's raise it up just a little bit. Okay. It seems like much nicer angle. Let's go for the other back ones. Let's just pick those. Move them backwards. Move them upwards just a bit. Let me pick one side, which is this side. Let's go back here. Yeah, that seems about right. Let me copy the x-axis and just paste it over here. Okay, sweet. Now, you're probably saying, oh, the front part, you're gonna need to set it up as well. Not necessarily, that's the good part. We're essentially done with the suspensions. Just click on set suspension wheels, bones, whatever. Just click on it, and it will now automatically move and stretch with the wheels itself. So that's the good part. So it essentially sets that up for us quickly and easily. But yeah, essentially we're done with this part. Let me just get rid of this one since we're not going to use this version of the cart. I just wanted to show you a version that we could add suspensions to. Because I'll probably make my own wood suspension for this. So for now, let's just go ahead and go back to the wood cart over here. Okay, so we're done over here. Yeah, there isn't much left to do, so let's just grab the vehicle core and place it inside of the gameplay prefab. Prefab variant, click on it, and we're essentially done here. Now, let me just delete this because we don't need it. We already have the gameplay prefab now made here. Now, over here, it's supposed to be like one folder, and the folder is supposed to say Control D, and you're supposed to name the colors over here. I just called it C1, as in color 1. I tend to love making stuff simple. Granted, this tutorial is going off too long, so copy the gameplay prefab over here, and then grab it and paste it inside of this one, prefab variant. There we go. Now we're essentially done. Last part of the tutorial is the export, so let's go over here and use the exporter. Okay, Mario Kaji. Okay, let's just create a new mod, yeah? So, creating a new mod over here, it's gonna be like new mod and some random number. So, go ahead, you could fill this up with anything random. Who, who cares? As long as no one, like, gets this number, I don't think they're gonna do much with your mod. And over here, we can name the mod. So, let's change the name from Woodcut to Z Kart, because the Karters loads your mods alphabetically. So it's going to be the last one in the vehicles option. Mod author, you could put in your name. So YouTube people. There we go. Messed it up there. And you could pick which category the character is. So you gotta double check these because sometimes I actually posted characters in the categories of vehicles and the other way around. So it's a vehicle. You could make sure whether it's public, friends only, unlisted, private through here. And here in the thumbnails, you could add the gate characters or vehicles thumbnails over here. And just make sure it's under 1 MB, the thumbnails that is, because Steam has like a file size limit. Not sure if it's like 2 MB or 1, but I think it's 1 MB. If it's above 1 MB, it's not gonna upload the mod. It's gonna be stuck at 0% because Steam doesn't accept that. And here, the voiceover and music. It, characters can have voiceovers and levels can have music. Currently, the vehicles you can't have custom voices for them, but hopefully in the future. And here we have an export option, and let me explain each of these real quick. We made a mod, right? Create a new mod and all of the good stuff. In here, it shows you what is being packed with the mod. So you could have a character, you could have a level, you could have all kinds of stuff packed into a single mod. But right now, our mod is empty. It doesn't have stuff in it. So let's scroll down here. I'm probably going to censor some of the vehicles over here. Like this part is going to get censored until I reach our Karters down here. So there we go. We got the connected wood cart over here. And you want to click on the check box over here. Whatever you check from the list of items, or rather vehicles over here, it's gonna get packed with the mod. So let me scroll back up over here and just close this. And there you go, you could see it got added here. Now over here you could have the game automatically place the mod inside of the game's mods folder. So that when you export the mod itself, your mod is instantly in the game and you don't need to copy the mod files over. So yeah, just lead it into the games folder. It's gonna be something close to this. If you use like the default option, I'm not sure if you use a Steam Deck how it's gonna need to be laid out, but if you use Unity on a Steam Deck, you're more of a genius than I am. And over here, just put in any info you want as an upload password. It helps consistency and blocks other people from, just, yeah, there's a bunch of security options to make sure that your mods are safe. You could go ahead and change the mods version. So over here, like, you could keep increasing it over time the more that you improve it. And over here, you could have change logs. They only appear in the change log side of Steam. Like, you gotta go through updates and change logs. That's where you can view it. So over here, we all we gotta do that's left, export and generate only new thumbnails fast. And we're essentially done. It's gonna ask save and continue. Click on save and continue. It's gonna like go through the whole process, and once it's done, it's gonna tell you that it's done. Package generated successfully. Click on OK. It's gonna show you the folder of your mods. This is completely censored because it's showing all of my current projects. And yeah, that's about it. I already recorded the in-game part, so you gotta see that, but this part I had to redo. So thanks for watching. Okay, so we're back in the Karters. I think it's a little bit too loud for the tutorial right now. So let me just load the game real quick. So I think it's because my voice is barely audible. But yeah, so let's go to the arcade. Race. Let's go to Woodsy Lane. Let's go over here, vehicles. And let's see, the newest one we made. And I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this one since I put the letter Z. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is like, the other look that I had for it. And this is like the one that we made. So it should look proper in game. You could add the wood wheel. Wink wink. Actually, it doesn't look proper on this vehicle because I probably changed the distance there, yeah. But yeah, essentially that's how you make, or like port over a cart into the Karters. Let's give it a quick test into the race and see what happens. There's also a part there that I'm gonna black out because a bunch of work in progress characters appear. Yeah. As you can see, like the cart itself functions nicely, and all seems fine. So yeah, that's pretty much the tutorial on how to add your own cart into the game. I know this wasn't a good tutorial, but hey, I'm trying my best. Hopefully I'll catch you in the other tutorials. Hope you had fun. Sorry if I blabber too much, and have a good time.